My name is Lance Davis.
My name is Shirley Beginning, and I'm a freshman in business management major.
My name is Jamira Anderson. I'm also a freshman business management student, and we are here to talk about connectivity. So this is Jose Silva. Jose Silva is a sugarcane farmer here in Brazil who has been having some connectivity issues. These issues limit him to use the precision ag equipment, which hinders the productivity of his field. Jose can barely afford to keep the upkeep of his equipment, hire contractors, and provide for his family. He often wonders how can he improve his yield and better use the precision ag equipment if connectivity was an issue. So what is connectivity? Connectivity is an interconnected network that allows not only farmers, but individuals in any given area to utilize the internet, share data, and receive information. So we divided connectivity into two aspects: internet access and machine-generated data. This is important because farmers use precision ag to increase their yield as well as minimize downtime. Without connectivity, farmers cannot utilize their equipment to their full extent, which results in unwanted loss of rate. So, what can John Deere to better enhance internet access and the use of their precision ag?
To answer this question, we believe that it is important for John Deere to build a technology-based supply chain that supports its precision ag products by using loans. So what is a loan? Loon is a balloon-powered internet used to provide internet access by connecting. So Loon is a balloon-powered internet used to provide access by connecting to local cellular networks. How it works is a wireless internet signal is transmitted up to the nearest balloon from the mobile network operator using a balloon-provided ground station. Signals then relayed across the balloons, and all devices can connect to the Wi-Fi. So the John Deere partnership. So when ensuring connectivity, Loon always partners with the mobile network operator of each country. Loon has previously worked in Brazil with Telefonica and successfully provided internet access. We believe that this is important for John Deere to take this opportunity by having a contractual agreement with Loon's Telefonica, because without it, John Deere would not be able to, the farmers would not be able to use precision ag to the best investment, to the fullest investment. So benefits of John Deere partnership. Guaranteed outcomes of John Deere partnering with Loons would be reliability, because they will have consistent internet access, market penetration by expanding their customer base, and data returning to information. Ways that John Deere will generate revenue from this is when access is insured. I'm so nervous. When access is insured, the value of John Deere's products will go up, and more farmers will use the JD Link app, as well as when John Deere ensures access in each specific area needed. Not only will they be ensuring it to the farmers, but everyone living there. Therefore, when subscribers pay for Telefonica, John Deere will receive dividends as well.
So one thing we must take into account is how will John Deere actually make money off this service? We have the increased connectivity that we need in order to use the precision ag, but how do we actually get people to use the agricultural technology that we've been providing? The world is on the edge of the next agricultural revolution. People are starting to use precision ag technologies more and more, yet other people are starting to use it more than John Deere or other companies, competing companies. So one of the things that we can entice people to use our connectivity along with precision ag deal more is to guarantee greater yields. So some of the technologies that we will be talking about is using connectivity for soil sampling. So before, soil sampling had to be done manually. You had to go out into the field, collect soil, and actually run it through a lab, run it through tests. But now we're able to have sensors in the field, and sensors that can look at whatever you want that's collectible in the field. So for example, you can look at temperature, humidity, you can look at different moisture levels in the soil just with the touch of an iPad button. So with this technology, you can have a daily portfolio that kind of looks something like this. it may be a little bit more complex, but it'll be easy to access, easy to look at, something simple for a farmer to actually say, okay, what's the status of my field? What's going on in my field? What do I need to do in what certain areas of my field? Another thing is surveying. Surveying is very important when planning for planting season. Planting season is when you're getting ready to lay the seeds. You want to see, what kind of terrain you're working with. You want to see what kind of moisture you're working with. You want to see what kind of weather you're working with. We can now use drones that can go out into the field and actually not only look at what type of land you're working with, look at the humidity, look at the moisture, and look at what kind of pesticides you need and fertilizer you need, but it can also check the well-being of your plants themselves. Plants with chlorophyll deficiencies don't reflect infrared light very well. So when you shine infrared light on the plant and you get that data back, you can see how well your plants are doing just from a sweep of the drone. So competing companies like CNH Industrial and Deere are actually using data that JD Link collects in order to service their customers. So what John Deere would need to do is actually start utilizing its data more to service its own customers. We need to John Deere actually needs to step out of the equipment, the cookie cutter equipment background and get into this data management, this high-tech field of agriculture.
So going back to what Jamara was saying earlier, sugarcane, Jose is a sugarcane farmer. So that leads me to my question is, how can precision ag can reduce the failure rate while maximizing revenue? So looking at John Deere, looking at Jose when So according to our research, 25% of sugarcane fails when it's when it's mechanized. Mechanized for. Okay. So according to our research, 25% of the sugarcane fails when it's mechanized. Yeah. So that leaves 20% of the farmer's acreage. At least 20% of our farmer acreage will be planted each year, meaning that 5% of the farm acreage will not be effective. So that leads to my question again. So how can precision ag reduce the failure rate while still maximizing revenue? I'm going to let Lucia go from here.
So you guys have heard the importance of internet connectivity, and you guys have seen the potential John Deere has for moving beyond the equipment and into the field. So now let's take a dive into the example that Marcus gave us and really jump into the information. So through our we went in through our data, the John Deere data, and we realized that as of right now, 20 to 25% of sugarcane being planted that's been mechanizedly harvested is now failing for some unknown reason. So now if you guys look to the chart, as of 2017, you realize that most of Brazil is using mechanized harvesting in order to harvest their sugarcane. So now we realize that 20 to 25% of their sugarcane is failing. So upon looking again back at our research, we realized that John Deere Brazil creates and uses 666 million tons of sugar canes with those 400 mills. With those 400 mills. And now with that, we've realized that how can we use the data that we have in our internet connectivity to increase precision ag? So here we've realized if we use the drones, the field data from the drones, and aggregate it with the data that we receive from the equipment, the field data is able to tell us where this failure is, and with the equipment data, we're able to see how the plants are being harvested. And then we can figure out not only why this is occurring, not only where is this occurring, but why is this occurring. This is a big issue for John Deere, because like we stated before, a fourth of the sugar cane is failing due to some unknown reason. So now, let's jump into the value. With our new solution, we've come to the conclusion that an estimated value of 33 million tons of sugarcane per year are now is going to be seen by our farmers after this fix. So then, including that with how much the Brazil is currently paying for just 1 ton of sugar, we're able to now calculate that $532 million are now left on the table that John Deere can now pick up. Now that's a big deal for Brazil because they're 45% of sugarcane, the world's sugarcane production is Brazil. So now we're increasing the amount of sugarcane being produced and increasing the amount of money that's going into Brazil. So what are our recommendations for Brazil, for John Deere? Our recommendation is you guys partner up with the Loom Company and Telefonica to increase connectivity within Brazil. As well as we want you guys to expand from beyond the equipment into the fields. And then also utilizing machine learning to address the problem with the current sugarcane problem. So now with that, we want to ensure connectivity along with using the technologies that we've now listed out to raise the farmers' yield so that would then will take John Deere to the next level. And that concludes our presentation.
I'm just going to let you guys kind of walk this back just a little bit before Jeffrey and Ken speak. I think you need to walk through the explanation for the planting again. And maybe if you want to put this on the board, you can do it that way. I think it got a little confused.
Yeah.
So what the problem is that Brazil is facing a problem. Well, not Brazil in general, any type of sugarcane planter is facing a problem where 25% of their crops fail.
Well, 25% of the planted.
Of the
That's
planted.
only 20% a year, so that's 10%.
Okay, 10%. Sorry about that. But what we will be doing, though, is using precision ag and advanced technologies and machine learning